So we have already covered the first two of the Cittānupassanā objects, Kaya and Vedana. So today we'll move on to the third one, which is Chitta. Right? So Chitta, or consciousness, what is it? So is this mental quality of knowing. Okay? So that is its nature, its natural characteristic, knowing, right? Knowing of the object. So citta is the mere knowing of the object, the basic state of knowing. So each time when we experience an object through any of the six sense doors, okay? So whether through seeing or hearing or smelling and so on. Yes, each time we experience an object through this sense door. So if you observe that experience, so there is an object present. Okay? But at the same time, there is also this mental state of knowing of the object. Okay? So, so there's the object and then there's the knowing of the object. Okay? Now, of course, there are other mental states or cetasikas that are present as well in this experience. Okay? For example, there is the manasikara, attention, turning towards the object. Okay? As cetana, that wills the mind to experience the object. There's the ekagata, that fix the mind or focus it on the object. Sanya, that perceive the object, and so on. Okay? So there are these various mental states that are present, but behind all these mental states, there is the basic state of bare knowing of the object, right? Just the mere knowing of the object. Right? So that nature of knowing, of mere knowing of the object, right? That is citta. Right? So if you, whenever you are noting an experience, so if you note that nature of knowing in the experience, like if you note rising, and you notice there is the knowing of the rising, or you note falling, there's the knowing of the falling. Mm. Uh, So you're noting the knowing, you're noting the citta. Okay, so that is called Cittānupassanā, contemplation or citta. Mm. So citta is the basic state of knowing, the bare knowing of the object. Mm. Mm. But in order for citta to be able to know the object properly, so it cannot work alone. Okay? So by itself is not enough to know the object properly. So it needs the help of this other mental states that we have mentioned earlier. So it needs the help of this mental state working alongside with it in order to be able to know the object more properly. So for example, it needs the help of Chaitanya to will it, to come to know the object. Okay? So without this willpower, the mind will not go and experience the object. Okay? So it needs manasikara to turn the attention, turn the whole mind to face the object. Okay? So without turning to face the object, you cannot know the object properly. It needs this vitakka to apply the mind on the object. Okay? So without applying on the object also we cannot know the object properly. It needs vichara to sustain it on the object. So without it without sustaining on the object. So the chitta will also not know properly. Similarly, it needs ekagata, one-pointedness, to fix, focus on the object. Mm. And so on and so forth. So it needs all these mental states to help it in order to come to know the object properly. Okay? So only if chitta works together with this cetasika, uh, will it be able to know the object properly. So therefore, chitta, uh, it never arises alone. It always arises with these other mental states. Mhm. So it's never alone. So, so it's like the king and the ministers. So the relationship between Chitta and Chittasikas is like the king and the ministers. So he said that the king rules the country. But to rule the country is a very complex activity. A lot of things needs to be done in order to rule the country. The king alone will not be able to rule the country. Okay? So what do? He appoint ministers. Each ministers carry out their own respective function. One minister take care of defense, another one take care of finance, another one take care of economy, another one take care of education, and so on and so forth. Okay? So they each perform their own respective function appointed to them, and then together they help the king to rule the country. So similarly, Chitta, even though it's the basic state of knowing, but in order to know the object properly, it needs the help of all these other Cetasikas, which are like ministers that each perform their own respective function to help the Chitta to know the object more properly. Okay? And just as the king never go any place alone, he always go together with his ministers. Okay? So similarly, Chitta always arise together with the Cetasikas. Because Chitta exercises this function of knowing in conjunction with the uh, other Cetasikas that he arises together with. Okay? So its basic nature of knowing is also affected by or modified by the nature of these other Cetasikas. Just as the manner of the king's rule over the country depends on and is affected by the ministers that he appoints. Okay? So if the king were to appoint very good, competent, efficient, wise ministers, then his rule over the country will be successful. His rule will bring prosperity uh, to the country. On the other hand, if he were to appoint corrupt or foolish ministers, incompetent ministers, then his rule over the country uh, due to these ministers will lead to the downfall of the country. Okay? So similarly, uh, just as the rule of the king's rule over the country is affected by his ministers, similarly, uh, chitta, his basic state of knowing, is affected by the mental state of chittasikas that it arise together with. Okay? So if it arises together with lobha or greed, then it Chitta knows the object, but it even know the object in a greedy way. Okay? So it arises together with dosa or anger, and then even know the object in a angry way. Okay? So it arises together with delusion, moha, even know the object in a deluded way. Okay? If it arises together with mindfulness, sati, then you will know the object deeply, carefully, thoroughly. Okay? And if it arises together with panya, wisdom, then he knows the object clearly, accurately, penetratively. So its nature of knowing is affected by the cetasikas, the mental state that it arises together with. Mm. Mhm. Because citta arises together with these other cetasikas, which affects the way it knows the object. So in practice also, when we contemplate the citta, so we can also observe the different ways in which the citta is affected by the mental states when it knows the object. Okay? So in the Satipatthana Sutta also, when the Buddha gave instruction to do Cittānupassanā, contemplate the citta. So he instruct the yogi to contemplate the citta as it arises together with other cetasikas, other mental states. Mm. And so, for example, so first one, Buddha says to contemplate this saragan citta. So citta with greed. Mm. So now here, saragan citta, to contemplate the citta with greed. That means your attention, when you note this, you're not noting the greed itself. You're noting the citta that is with greed. That means the knowing, the nature of knowing. Okay? But this nature of knowing arises with greed. Okay? But your attention is on the nature of knowing. If your attention is on greed itself, then it's not Cittānupassanā. Okay? It's more of a Dhammanupassana. Okay? So the do Cittānupassanā, the attention that must be noting the nature of knowing itself. Okay? In this case, the nature of knowing is affected by greed. It arises together with greed. Okay? So you note it. So what happened when you note it? You note wholeheartedly, not energetically, clearly. Then that citta, that knowing with greed disappear, right? So once it disappear, what happened? Mm, uh, There's another knowing arise, and this knowing is without greed, vitaraga citta. Okay. So first, there is the uh, knowing with greed. When you know it, then it disappear. Okay. And then another knowing arise, without greed. Okay. So Mm. So if you observe carefully, so now at first, when you observe this, you only see because you haven't seen clearly each citta arising and disappearing. Okay? You only know that first there is this consciousness with greed. And when you note it, then it seems to disappear, but you don't really see it disappear clearly. Yeah? You see as if the citta changes. First there's with greed, then there is without greed. So you see the change in the citta. Okay, but because you haven't seen it clearly, you think that it's still the same citta, still the same knowing, that the knowing has changed, from having greed to being without greed. Okay? So this is still not clear yet. So if you continue to know and develop the mindfulness, develop the sharpness, the precision of the noting. Okay? So when the mind becomes clear enough, then you'll be able to see each citta arising and disappearing. Okay? So, uh, so first, before that, there's just the pure noting. Okay, so there's citta. When there's pure noting, there's citta without greed. Okay, then at some point, the mindfulness sleep, and for a moment, this citta with greed arise. Okay, so when you notice, you see clearly. First, as the citta without greed disappear, then the citta with greed arise. You see clearly one citta disappearing, huh? Then another citta arise. So when you note that citta with greed, you see clearly it disappear. Okay? Then once you see it disappear, then you see the next moment another consciousness arises. You see clearly, it's a different consciousness that arises. Okay? It's not the same consciousness, not the same citta. Okay? And then when you note that citta, also it disappear. Okay? And then another, you notice another consciousness arises, also without greed. Okay? And that also disappear. Okay? Mm. So when you can discern clearly each citta arising and disappearing, then only you see clearly it's not the same citta, not the same knowing going on all the time, but it's different from moment to moment. Okay? Mm. So once you can see the citta arising and disappearing from moment to moment, and then only you can realize that it's impermanent. uh, and then you see it's suffering and non-self. And there's also sadosa citta. So knowing with anger. Okay? And then vita dosa citta, knowing without anger. Okay? So similarly, similar to the first pair, saraga citta, vitaraga citta. This also when you know, so consciousness with knowing with anger. If you know it, you know it clearly, wholeheartedly, it disappears. Okay? When it disappear, another consciousness, another knowing arise without anger. Okay, so mm, yeah, so the attention again must be on the nature of knowing, knowing with anger, not on the anger itself. Okay, so you know it, you can see the consciousness, it changes. Okay? So first you see just the change. Okay. Actually, what you see changing is that the dosa. First there's dosa, then there's no dosa. Okay, you haven't really see clearly the chitta changing. Okay, you still think it's the same chitta. Just earlier it was with dosa, and then you know that it becomes without dosa. Okay, so but if you develop the noting mind until it becomes very sharp, very clear, then you can discern clearly moment to moment each consciousness arising and disappearing. So you see that you note the consciousness, the knowing with dosa, you see arising and you see it disappearing in the moment. And then next, another different knowing arise, and that is without dosa. Okay? And that also when you know that it disappeared, then followed by another chitta. and that also arises and disappears. Okay? Then only you can see clearly that is not the same chitta. mm. So it's different chitta going on, one moment after another after another. Okay? And then you see the nature impermanent of the chitta. Huh? So it's see the nature impermanent, suffering and non-suffering of this chitta. So similarly also there's the samoha chitta. Huh? So first you note now this chitta that arises with delusion. Okay, so you notice you see it's not clear. Okay, so this one is a bit difficult to note because when your mind is affected by moha, uh, it usually lost in delusion. It does not know anything. Okay, but once you regain the mindfulness, and then you turn your attention to note it, then you see clearly there's this consciousness that's affected by this delusion. It's not clear. Okay, so when you note it, you see it disappear. Okay, and you see it change. There's another consciousness that arises free from the delusion, a very clear consciousness. Okay, so again, you can first you see it change. Then when you're noting is sharp, you can see it arising and disappearing. Okay, you see clearly that it's not the same chitta. Okay, mm. So and then there is also uh, sankita chitta. huh? So sankita chitta means the knowing that is contracted or shrunken. huh? So this is the consciousness that is affected by sloth and torpor, tinamida. Okay, so when the mind is affected by this tinamida, for example, a sleepy mind. uh, so you observe that consciousness, you see the consciousness shrinking, uh, coming smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. uh. So you note that consciousness, if you note it energetically, wholeheartedly, you see it also disappear. Okay, and once it disappear, you see another consciousness arise. Consciousness that is open, bright, uh, very clear. Okay? So then there's also uh, vikita chitta. Okay? So knowing that is uh, distracted. Right? So this is the knowing affected by this restlessness, udacha. Okay? So it's very disturbed knowing, unsettled knowing. So you note this carefully, wholeheartedly, you see disappear. Yeah? And then another consciousness arise that is peaceful, that is tranquil. Mm. Okay, it's getting very difficult to listen. So we'll stop here tonight.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namaskara.